Hello everybody, today is February 19th, 2016. So today we're going to be finishing chapter 27 of Psalms. And I'm going to be doing 7 through 14, verses 7 through 14. And we're going to go ahead and read it and then I'll talk about it. So it says, "Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud. Be gracious to me and answer me. You have said, seek my face. My heart says to you, your face, Lord, do I seek. Hide not your face from me, turn not your servant away in anger. O you who have been my help, cast me not off, forsake me not, O God of my salvation. For my father and my mother have forsaken me, for the Lord will take me in. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path, because of my enemies. Give me not up to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and they breathe out violence. I believe that I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord." So, once again, this is another good passage that's relatable. And starting with verse 7, he is crying out to God. Like I said, this is after he has repented to God and asked God to forgive him and cleanse him. And now he's asking God uh, to be gracious and to answer his prayer. So once again, he can relate to a lot of us because we often want God to be graceful to us and answer us, especially when we're going through a hard time where we need Him, or where we're facing the impossible. Now 8 says, "You have said, seek my face. My heart says to you, your face, Lord, do I seek." So God desires that we seek Him above anything. And so David responds and says that he seeks the Lord. And so when we're going through a hard time, it's important that we do seek God and seek His will. Seek His guidance and that we can walk in His paths. 9 says, "Hide not your face from me, turn not your servant away in anger, O you who have been my help. Cast me not off, forsake me not, O God of my salvation." So he does tell of God being his help before, and he asks God not to turn away from him in anger. So even David kind of worries. He doesn't want God to turn away from him. And like I said, that can relate to us too because sometimes we're worried that God, He's been faithful, but we're still worried that He's gonna fall back. Now, we were talking about seeking the Lord and His ways, and 11 says, "Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path, because of my enemies." So this can be for anybody to ask for God to teach them His way, but this one is especially for people who are dealing with violent enemies. It says, "Lead me on a level path because of my enemies." And so, if you're going through a hard time, if you're going through harassment or anything to that matter, I just encourage you, to seek God and to seek His paths and His will. And I'll get more on that at the end because the last couple of verses are good on that. "Give me not up to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me and they breathe out violence." Like I was talking about violence before. He's asking that God does not let him get taken over by the wicked and the violent people that he is surrounded with. And then, this is what I was talking about at the end, where 13 and 14, "I believe that I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage and wait for the Lord." And this is in the same passage that talks about David wanting deliverance from his enemies and wanting God's way to be known, wanting to know what God's will is. And down here, he says to wait on the Lord. So, I definitely think this helps my situation, and it might help with yours too. That if you're going through a hard time and if you're living in a tough home or a violent home, um, verse 14 encourages you to wait for the Lord and still have courage. Have the courage to wait on God and to have courage to stand up to what is right. So that's what I want to encourage you with today. And I hope that, people will see this video and share it, and, I hope that you're encouraged by it. And tomorrow we're going to do chapter 28. And until then, I hope you have a blessed day.